Hey geometry students, welcome to video number 24. This one is about parallel lines and transversals. I hope this helps you with what we're doing in class. In one of our previous classes, we were talking about how to draw parallel lines. Right here we have a transversal T, and we want it to cross two parallel lines. We want one parallel line to go through point P, and the other parallel line to go through point Q. In order to do that, we have to draw our parallel lines at the same angle. Whatever angle we draw a line through at P, we have to use the same angle to draw a line through Q. Okay, so we drew one line. We have the red line, and we drew it at 70 degrees. So that's our first angle right here. This is right here, 70 degrees. So if I want to draw another line that's parallel to the first one, I have to draw it through 70 degrees also. It's going to have to go right through right here using that protractor. Okay, and if we do that, draw them at the same angle, we see that it worked. We got two parallel lines. So we mark lines are parallel by putting arrows on them. If they have matching arrows, that means the lines are parallel. And both have corresponding angles that are congruent. These two angles here match each other, they're corresponding. So if we make the corresponding angles congruent, the lines are parallel. And it works the other way around also. If the lines are parallel, corresponding angles must be congruent. So take a look at this figure right here. We have two examples. When the lines are parallel, we see that the groups of angles they make match each other. So this group of four angles on the left matches the group of four angles on the right. The corresponding angles are congruent. These two 120-degree angles are congruent. The two 60-degree angles are congruent, and it's the same with the others. In fact, if we look at this diagram really carefully, we see all the angle relationships we need. All the acute angles are congruent. All the acute angles are 60 degrees in this example. All the obtuse angles are congruent. They're all 120 degrees. And finally, if we pick any acute angle and any obtuse angle, they're supplementary. Supplementary means they add to 180 degrees. So when we're doing angle problems with parallel lines, we just got to find out, are the angles we're talking about congruent or are they supplementary? They're one of the two. Now, over here on the right side, this is a negative example. If you look at these two angle groups, they do not match. That's because these two lines here are not parallel. So if the lines are not parallel, the corresponding angles are not congruent. Okay, so a big difference between the parallel lines and lines that are not parallel. Okay, let's see what we have next. All right, here we go. It's kind of busy slide here, but this summarizes all the angle relationships, and we'll kind of go through them quickly. We'll be using these a lot, so these will become very familiar. In the first diagram, we have alternate interior angles. The two red angles are alternate interior. They're both acute, so they have to be congruent. The green angles are alternate interior. They're both obtuse, so they have to be congruent. So no matter which way we pick them, alternate interior angles are congruent. Same thing for alternate exterior angles. The two red ones here, alternate exterior. They're congruent. The two green ones, alternate exterior, they're both acute, they're congruent. All right, and corresponding angles, as we've already said, we have four different pairs of corresponding angles. We have these blue ones, the brown ones, the green ones, and the red ones. But any pair of corresponding angles we pick, congruent. All right, now, your same side angles, the same side interior angles and same side supplementary angles. When you look at them, you see that they're formed of one acute and one obtuse, like these two red ones here. The first one's acute, the second one's obtuse. They have to be supplementary. And same thing for same side exterior angles. One of them is obtuse, the other matching one is acute. Any obtuse and any acute angle have to be supplementary. So here are the 5 different angle pairs we learned names for, and here's their relationship. An easy way to remember this is that all the alternate interior ones, let me find my pen here. Where'd it go? There we go. Well, so all the alternate interior ones are or all the alternate ones are congruent. Alternate interior, congruent. Alternate exterior are congruent, and corresponding are congruent. Likewise, the supplementary angles are the same side ones. Same side interior, same side exterior. So just remember, if they're alternate, either interior, exterior, congruent. Corresponding, congruent. If they're the same side angles, interior or exterior, supplementary. All right, let's take a look at a couple of examples. And give me a second. My pen is long gone here, so let me see what happened to my pen. Okay, it's back. So these two angles here, we have 46 degrees and x. They're not really corresponding alternate interior or anything. This is not a special angle pair. But there's a quick way of doing this. We realize that this one here, the 46 degrees, is acute, and the one labeled x is obtuse. That means they must be supplementary. So that means 46 plus x has to add up to 180, or x is 134 degrees. Another way you could do this is just start labeling angles in the figure. This one's 134, this is 134, this is 46. These must match, so those are 46, 134, 46, 134. So either way, think if one's acute, one's obtuse, they're supplementary, or if it's just a problem involving numbers, maybe label all the angles and you'll get to the one you want. All right, in the second example, let's label the angles. This one's 122. This acute angle here must be 180 minus that. So that would be 58 degrees. So that's 58, 58. These group of angles match. So that's 122, 58, 58. And the one we want is 122. So that might seem a little slow. If you're really good at this, you can get it quicker. But that's one way to do it. Just label all the angles until you get the one you want. Right? In this case, these two angles were congruent. These were alternate exterior angles. All right, let's move on to an example with expressions. So here's a typical problem. We want to solve this for x. Okay, so I got to think about the relationship between these two angles. Well, these are same side exterior angles. Same side exterior angles are supplementary. So they have to add to 180. Another way to do it is think this is acute, that's obtuse. Any acute and obtuse angle have to add to 180. But we should know the names and know that if they're same side exterior, they're supplementary. That's going to help us later. So 7x plus 21 plus 2x plus 4 equals 180. That's the key step, writing the correct equation. Combine like terms, we get 9x plus 25 equals 180. If we subtract 25, we get 9x equals 180 minus 25 is 155. All right, give me a second here. And we get x is a nice 17.22222. Well, decimals are people too, I guess, so we'll go with it. So x equals 17.2. Okay, I think I was hoping for it to work out even, but it doesn't have to. Anyway, these two have to add to 180. All right, let's take a look at another example. Here we go. We have our last example. Solve for x. In this problem, we have two alternate interior angles, so they have to be congruent. So get my pen back. Here we go. So our first angle is right here, the 4x plus 20. The other angle is 6x minus 50. We're going to set them equal to each other. They're both obtuse, so they have to be equal. 4x plus 20 equals 6x minus 50. We're going to subtract 4x on both sides. And we get 20 equals 2x minus 50. I add 50 to both sides, and I get 70 equals 2x. And we get x equals 35. So the key is this very first step, understanding whether they're equal or supplementary. All right, here we go. Time for a journal assignment. All right, I want you to copy these figures in the diagram. I don't know why Kermit the Frog is here, but he looks happy. I think he likes angles. So copy the figures and find the value of x. Okay, and then on the bottom one, copy the figure and solve for x. You're going to have to determine whether these angles are congruent or supplementary and write the right equation. I'll take a look at it in class. See you next time.